Hi, hello everybody. Good evening. Really happy to have everyone here tonight. If you don't know me yet, I'm Shayla from Ubi Minds, and basically, Ubi Minds is this company that helps tech companies build and scale high performance teams. Right. So we work with distributed. We're bridging a lot of American, Canadian companies with LATAM, more specifically Brazil, and we're big in collaboration. So that's what we're here for tonight, right? So we like to work with as one team, working with our partners, working with our communities. And tonight we have three very important people here to share their knowledge with us. These are industry experts, and they actually have three very interesting perspectives. So I have Alberto, who's an author for distributed teams. He's in the US. I have Caroli, who's already a big consultancy. He's actually talking from Spain, bringing a little bit of the European perspective here. I also have Fabio Cruz. So he is an author for Agile PMO, very big in Brazil, so he can bring a little bit of Latin America. I don't want to take everybody's time, so I'm going to hand it over for Alberto. Maybe you can cover a little bit, introduce yourselves, and later we can go on to our two big topics for tonight, right? So first of all, how to build user-centric products. We're going to be talking about how to slice the work so that the value is delivered continuously to the user, and also about how we get the right people to develop this and do this, right? So you want to have the right talent working with you and developing the software, and we also want them to stick around and not leave with what they've learned and what they've developed, okay? So Alberto, I'm gonna hand it over to you. Thank you all for being here.
Hello, everyone. Okay, full party right now. Hello, Caroli. Hello, Fabio. It's always good to see you guys. How are you doing today?
Hey, Alberto. Hey, Fabio.
Hello, Paulo. Hello, Alberto.
It's late night for you all, I guess. Cool. Yes, so for those that don't know me, as Shayla already said, I'm Alberto. Super excited to have you here this afternoon or this evening, regardless where you are. As Shayla mentioned, we're going to be covering two main topics, and I would like to jump right in. And we want to do this session like as collaborative as possible. So if you have questions or if you would like to actually make a comment, we will be watching, and we will try to fit in your thoughts as the conversation goes. And we're gonna actually just throw this out there like up front. We are here. We love learning from you and sharing knowledge. That's kind of like our primary goal. So we are three hands-on leaders. So we, in our day-to-day job, we're actually building teams, building products, writing books, and we love doing that. And we do that, learn from you. And this is like an opportunity for us to actually consolidate that and sharing that back to the community. So we will ask you to one homework for you during this session to learn one thing that you can bring back to your day-to-day job that can be applicable to your day-to-day. That's the goal for tonight's session, and hopefully we can achieve that goal. Caroli, Fabio, good with that?
Perfect. Alberto.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, cool. So building product that customers love. But that's a very profound title for this life. But in order to build a user-centric products, right? To have like a team that's putting like the user's hat and thinking about that. Caroli, let me just throw that out to you, like as you're like in the front of like my camera here. Let's start with you. Like in your experience, professional experience for many years building products out of like 6-7 books, I don't know, I lost count already. Great ones, by the way. What is how you approach that, and how you make the teams actually with that connection with the users, and just throwing that like a very high level question, and then we can go dive deeper as we go. How do you do that?
Well, first I'll start talk about my main book, Inception, how to align people and build the right product. It's all about the team. You need to have a good group of people that look into three perspectives, and they're equally important. One is the business. We need to have one eye and think from the business perspective, because we work for organization, work for a business that needs to make profit or to achieve some business goal. Another perspective is the user. We need to put ourselves in the shoes of the user. We need to know the user. We need to know the pain, the desires from the user. Usually, like we need really good people that understand the user experience. And also we need the engineers, the people building, whatever that software, that digital product, that solution to fulfill the needs of those users. So you need a strong team where you bring those three perspectives together, and together we understand the needs of the users. We try to find the intersection with what should our business work on to provide the best, solution for those users, along with the engineers to build this. If you have a great team and you're able to align people on a common goal, you build amazing products. And that common goal is very important to say, with the customer at the center, thinking from the heart perspective. How do I fulfill the need of that user, that customer, that person, that human being? Then you achieve amazing results.
I will get back on this getting everyone aligned with the goal. In my book, I mentioned like the North Star. There's like many books talking about objective and key results and how to actually get everyone to understand. Hold on that, Caroli, I will go back to you with that question. But Cruz, same question on a very high level, so we can dive deeper like in a moment. What's the magic, if any, for building user-centric products? How do you make the team align? And like, tell me a little bit. And you also have like you've been doing and helping many companies and consulting and helping many organizations to do that. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. Firstly, actually, there isn't any magic. It's so hard job. Surprise!
No silver bullet.
Yeah. So guys, I'm so happy to hear with my two friends and a lot of guys around the world watching us. Just a little bit about my experience with this job. Nowadays, I have a company here in Brazil. I'm an owner and technical director, and I help the companies, the people and the companies to implement agile methods or waterfall methods, hybrid methods, but mainly understanding the environments in the companies to understand how is the problems to achieve the goals, and what is the difficulties to agile transformation, digital transformation, or organization transformation. Not so easy. I have almost 30 years in experience. I have 5 books published, and I talk a lot about these problems and these issues. And when Alberto asked about delivering products and keep the teams, we need to think about purpose and how we thinking about these teams, how we are forming these teams and talking with these teams about what is the purpose about our company. I have a good example. Last week, I was talking about one client here in Brazil in a training about 30 people in the training, and in the middle of the content, one guy said, "Fabio, I have a big concern because I understood now that my team working in IT, okay, development, software development in IT. My team in IT is totally disconnected with the core of the company. The principal goal of the company is totally disconnected what I do in my team. This is a big mistake. It's almost impossible have a high performance in teams if we have this disconnection. So
I
my
call those the
team
virtual
is
walls.
talking about it.
The virtual walls in their organizations, right? You mentioned about IT. Many companies have like walls between product and engineering, or even within engineering, you have like walls between engineering and quality,
Testers and DevOps.
right?
Yeah.
Throw over the wall and make sure that actually is gonna something is gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
But and that goes back to the objective and key results. But I will tell you this, like from my experience, Chris, I couldn't agree more with you. Like the biggest challenge to actually be delivering products is these virtual walls in our organization. So how do we remove those walls?
Yeah.
And how we make the collaboration with everyone aligned towards to the same collective goal, right? Some of the techniques that I mentioned on my book and that I like to apply to my teams, and this is not even something that I create, I just mentioned because I love this. It's like basically getting a big problem, slicing that in what I like to call the vertical slice in a way that's delightful for the customers. I mentioned, have you heard about like the elephant carpaccio metaphor? I love that one. It's basically getting like a big elephant. As a Brazilian, I'm like a meat lover. I don't eat elephants. I think they're very special and beautiful creature. I don't need to kill elephants. But getting a bigger problem and slicing that in a vertical slice, it's how I like to convey the idea of delivering delightful pieces of features to users. So think about like in a vertical slice and just try to, for a moment, visualize this with me. It goes across all the departments. You have to connect sales, marketing, product engineering, IT, as you mentioned, Cruz, and all the way, right? So, and build this cross-functional team. For me, this is like one of the things that I say, like the team needs to be cross-functional. If you have like an analytics team, separate from product engineering and sales, and you have like too many walls, and that is like one aspect that will prevent you to be delivering product that customers love. That's my perspective. And then like organizations that I work, I always try to actually make this one team, one heart. Is literally like, yeah, we have like different departments, different perspectives, but everyone is in the same boat. Do you feel the same way, Caroli?
Yeah, I totally agree. And in fact, that's the way I think that's the way I propose like the whole idea behind Inception. It's all about a collaborative workshop. I understand that some people work on different departments and they're not sitting together the whole time, but at least, you know, at the beginning when they're going to make a decision, the line about the direction they're going to go and the actions they're going to take, they need to come together to a collaborative workshop. We cannot work on the old style where I stay on my department and then I'll do some work, I'll write whatever, a business requirement document, and then I'll send through email to someone else. And that person work by herself with her colleagues on that same department and build yet another document, the product requirement document, and then send to the engineers. And then the engineers build the design requirement document. Like, no, don't do all of this. No, come together to a collaborative workshop and together we'll figure out. Let's stop with this. I work by myself. I'll build a PowerPoint presentation or a Word document, and then I'll send someone else. And then the person gets that, extend it, send someone else. It's not like this. We tried this before, was not the way to go. We have
Carol,
changed.
to go a little bit deeper, like in your teams that you build, do you bring the concept of OKRs or you use like a different methodology or like to get like to define the North Star and to bring that to How do you do it in your teams?
I do like OKRs. I think they're very powerful. Like the whole idea of like, let's define the North Star. You need this like for the whole organization, for the areas, for the department, for the teams, for the product team. It's OKR is a really good, powerful framework, you know.
Yeah, but and do you bring like people from other departments, marketing, sales, customer success, as part of like the OKR's definitions and like the ongoing collaboration in product engineering to get aligned? How do you do that?
It depends, right? If you're talking about the OKR of the whole organization, you need representatives from all the areas when you're having that OKR workshop, OKR session. But you might have OKRs that are specific for the market department, you know. If you're building a digital product, that's different. If you build a digital product, you need to go beyond only the OKR, because now you're talking like, I think I understand the needs of the users. I think I understand the business goals. Let's come together, and together we'll figure out what should we build. And when I say what should we build, then we're going more towards like lean startup. What's the minimum viable product? And once you figure out, oh, this is the minimum viable product to help us start understanding, start validating that hypothesis, the direction your MVP is pointing towards should be aligned with the direction of the OKR of the organization or the area that you belong to, you know.
Caroli,
So you need to have an alignment
we'll
between.
get back to you on that one, because the MVP, it's so hard to define what is the MVP. And your book brings a lot of methodologies and like how to define a proper MVP, right? And I've seen like discussions in my career, like let's build a car. Sure, what's the MVP? Is the wheel?
No,
is the engine? Well, it's not like a proper elephante carpaccio, you know. So same metaphor. Cruz, let's talk a little bit about the MVP and like the OKRs. Let's say how do you get there, like, and how you define, because the MVP, it's a delightful piece of carpaccio.
Yeah.
Right. Following that metaphor, it's like the cupcake, is like the scooter, you know, like and there's like many different ways to describe like how do you do like in, I don't know how many years of experience you have, like you said, like 30.
So, yeah, almost.
You've seen it all. You've seen like a waterfall 1, waterfall 2, like interactive waterfall, agile waterfall. So that's also possible. It depends how you do it, but how you find your more the most successful way of approaching that?
Yeah. This is a so interesting topic, and I like to start thinking about the problem and the goal. So the teams and the business owner and the stakeholders needs to think, what is our goal and where do you want to go? When we're thinking about a big problem or a big product or a big goal, it's so difficult to realize, because we are thinking about the whole problem or the whole product. So we need to think, how is the small problem that we can solve? Okay, this is one way to start. When you mentioned about MVP, we're thinking about what is the small product that we can deliver that will be solve one problem or achieve one goal. But when in one of my books, for Hand System Discover, that book I published with my partner Victor Massari, we starting all of job thinking about what is the problem that you solve now, not all problems. No, every problem, just one. Thinking about one, and we're planning and developing or building and deliver a solution that will be solve this first problem. the big issue that companies we did in 10 years from now is, no, we need to think about all of the problems, all of the goal, and you need we need to planning all of about this. No, I like so much the OKRs because it's a good example to slice or thinking about small part of our business. So we need to connect business goal, business strategy with team goal and team strategy. The both of them needs to think, what is our OKR? What is our key result that will be uh, achieved? And when my team achieve this goal, the strategy of the company or the business goal will be achieved as well. We need to connect this.
The
So
alignment, right?
yeah. Align drive. You said about the North Star. It's a kind of
Well,
North
it's
Star.
just because I'm passionate about boats and all that kind of stuff. So I always look to the stars as
Yeah,
my guidance. But yes, I couldn't agree more. And you mentioned about like defining what the problem, right? Uh, Years ago, I came up with like, well, of course, working with my teams is like, what problem are we solving? What is the goal, by the way, that we are trying to achieve, right? And how this is going to contribute for us to be moving the boat towards to the North Star, right? And
and we have one more question to introduce here. Uh, when the team or stakeholder or business owner or customer, whatever, ask it about, oh, team, can you uh, develop this? Why? Why? Why
why you
I
want
should? Yeah. Why should I develop this? Which problem this solve? Or which goal this will be achieved?
yeah.
Oh, I
So
don't know. I don't know. So garbage.
it's more often than we can imagine, and I would actually even challenge, or not challenge, but just throw this for whoever is listening us. If you're actually working and building a product, I would say understand the problem that you are trying to solve, understand your goal, and understand every day when you come to work how is that contributing to the North Star. If not, just step back, zoom out, and verify if that is. Because have you actually faced it like the? I've seen that a few times in my career, and multiple roadmaps. You have a roadmap for technical debt. You have a roadmap for like product features. You have a roadmap for like so many things. I say no. Pause. One source of truth. We need one roadmap, just one, and that needs to be a consensus, like with like the team. What is the best value that will move the boat quicker towards the North Star, right? Have you worked like in teams that have like multiple roadmaps? And if yes, how did you solve that, Caroli?
Long ago, I'm glad I don't handle this anymore.
I like how straight to the point you are.
No, seriously, like now we are outcome-based roadmap. Like now we talk about, okay, what's the outcome we want to achieve? It's not output anymore. When you're talking about all those roadmaps, like in my mind, it's like, oh, output. I'm glad to know we have evolved and we changed. It's like OKR. We're talking about what is the outcome? Where do you want to achieve? How do you know you're getting there? And that's it. And we stop there. We don't talk about mapping to output, right? So.
Yeah.
North Star,
here, like
it's outcome based, and even when you talk about outcome, you have to be very careful, because even though you have an outcome, get out of the building, go and talk to the users, go and put the solution the user use in their hands. Not assuming that they'll use. Do it to learn, to validate your business hypothesis. Get out of the building. Even your outcomes, we're not talking about to deliver outcome. Oh, my outcome is to build this, and that. No, your outcome is to improve the user experience on some specific area, and then go figure out if whatever you're proposing has been helping the user improving that area. Ask the user, talk to the user, put something in their hands, and keep the conversation going, so you understand what should they do next. And whatever you build next, again, go and validate. Did it really improve what I thought I was going to do? And then ask again. Keep that conversation going with your customer, with your user. Use continuous discovery and continuous delivery.
Okay, well, that's one of my favorite. By the way, here's like my favorite books, and one is if you know Inception, Caroli. You may know the author. It's a good one. I would suggest you take a look on that one. Cruz, I'm still waiting for the autographed one that comes from you. So, Caroli, in being specific about product engineering, do you think that the engineers? I like to say that the engineers that write the code are the ones verifying their code in production and having like those metrics that can tell if the features that they are building are actually achieving the goals that they have. That's the way that I like to have my teams operating. Do you agree with that, or like or if not, why not?
No, I agree with that. Like the engineers, in a perfect world, the engineer would be in contact with the final user. Sometimes in the real world, they cannot be in touch with the final user. So they need to be as close as possible. Be careful with the proxies. When you put a proxy to another proxy to another proxy to the engineer, there are 3 layers of interaction between the user and the engineer. That's too much. You need to bring the engineer as close as possible to the user. If you cannot be that close to the user, bring someone that magically understands the user experience, and then that person or that role is connecting the engineer to the user. But again, don't assume that role, the user experience, the user research, is the source of truth. That source of information for you to build better products that will faster validate the hypothesis. And the final validation, it is with the final user, the final customer.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think? Just as we go like to the next topic, Cruz, what do you think? Like how close the engineering team, the product engineering team, should be to validating the experiments and building product that customers love?
Totally. I will connect with Joel Medeiros questions that he told. I think for what you are talking about, Spotify. Spotify tried to solve this problem with squads methodology. Is not exactly what we talking about here. It's a part of it. When Spotify talking about squads, they are thinking about put together all professional that we need, like an engineer, business, developers, quality assurances, and whatever we need. But the companies insist and a big mistake that create a Spotify, a squad, but they don't put all of the specialties together in the same squad. For example, engineers or business. So, and sometimes, because I don't want said always. Always is a hard word, but sometimes, yeah. So sometimes the companies forgot about strategy, the goals, the topic that we talked before. Okay, so I totally agree that we need to put together in the same team, one team. Alberto said before, we need to have one product backlog or one roadmap. Okay, so Here, in this case, we need to have one roadmap for one product backlog and one team. And if you need engineers, developers, QAs, UX, CX, and whatever need, we need to put together in the same team, same goal, only one goal, and talk with the team and the business inside my company and business outside my company. We need to talk about outcomes. Caroli said about that before, not outputs only. When we separated the teams, put engineer there, developers there, and business there, all of them will thinking about only output. My output is this because the output they will other thing. When we put all of the roles and the responsibilities together, all of them will thinking about what is our outcome. We need to deliver an outcome, achieve an outcome, not more output.
I love one of the quotes that I saw like in LinkedIn another day is like, yeah, always have like measure the outcomes, not the outputs. Like my teams, I do not measure how many store points like a particular team delivers in to trying to measure like value delivered, right? Yeah. So there's I have two talks aligned on this month that will cover like metrics and how to measure productivity of like teams. Which is pretty cool. By the way, if you haven't seen, I think it was like the GitHub like earlier this year, they published like an article. I can share the link on the chat in a minute, talking about measuring the productivity of teams and delivering value to customers. So I will share that link in a minute. But it's actually time for our second topic today. And to wrap up this, Caroli, if you have to actually think about one word or like one thing that you could tell to the audience that they need to bring back that will help them to build products that customers love, what is that?
Can I say in 4 words?
4 words? Okay, you can.
That I learned in a really good book, and I think it's amazing. It's really magical, those 4 words. One team, one heart. No, seriously, I think you nailed it when you called it one team, one heart. I think it's amazing, Alberto, to know that it's a simple sentence and conveys the message. One team, one heart.
I cannot disagree with you on that. And who actually worked with me and feels the power of it. Once you have like a group of people that is aligned with passion to be achieving a destination, it's near to impossible to not get there and achieve success. But appreciate that, Caroli. Cruz, what's like a one word? You cannot repeat Caroli here. But what is one thing that you believe or that can help the audience to take one thing that building products that customers love?
We need to be transparent. And we need have a one purpose. It's almost the same that Carol said, but we need to connect the purpose of my purpose, individual purpose, a person purpose, connect with the purpose of my team, and connect with purpose of my company. When or if it's possible, connect these 3 purposes. We have a great chance to a success. I know.
So your word is purpose.
Yeah,
if
purpose.
You have to say one word, like a team with purpose.
Purpose.
Yeah. For me, would be established vision, a good strategy, and team autonomy. But if I have to combine everything, I have to agree with Caroli, because that's what my book and what I believe is like you have to do things with passion. Cool. Ready for topic number 2?
Yeah, let's do it.
All
Let's
right.
go.
We talked about define the North Star and having a purpose, a strategy, a vision, the one team, one heart, all that kind of stuff. And now it's great, but we cannot build products that customers love without what? People, building the team. And I'm actually curious to actually both of you. I've been in New York for the past 15 years. I recently just moved to Austin, Texas. Doesn't matter where I actually try to hire people. It's challenging than ever, right? Because before the pandemic, I've been building distributed teams for way prior to the pandemic, but I had like the advantage to say, I want to hire people regardless of what they are, just as long as they add in value and they're the best person for the job. But now everyone can work from anywhere. So it's being harder and harder to hire people. And engineering and product engineering in general, like product design, product management, anyone in that area, it's so hard to find, and it's really hard to retain the great talent. And we can all agree that we need like the great talent to be building the products. So, Caroli, how are things in Europe in general and in Spain, where you are right now? Is being like you having like the same feeling that is hard? Do you have any magic? I love the magics. Do you have any like magic solution to find great talent?
Yeah, I think it's worldwide. I think the demand for people good with the creating and helping creating digital products and help with the digital transformation is on high demand right now. So I think it's a world thing. As per a company, as per organization where you want to attract talent, while you were talking, I was thinking about a metaphor comparison. Imagine you have a restaurant with really good food, but the environment's kind of boring. You go there, the food's amazing, but the restaurant environment's boring. And then you have another restaurant, a Mexican restaurant came to my mind, like a really cool environment and a good food. Which one would you repeat? So it's not only about salaries, it's about the environment, the environment that we are creating, for people to be part of, for people to be happy, like people want to be happy. We want good, safe environments that embrace diversity, that accept each one of us the way we are. And then we can bring value to the team, to the group, where you feel like I'm part of this organization. That's what we want.
Back 20 years ago, when Google started in 1999, a little over, they put like a slider in the middle of the office to actually create that environment that is fun, that is cool, and that's been a transformation in the way that companies used to hire in the 90s or in the 80s. That was like the boom of like the 2000 change in the millennium, and that was a way of hiring. Cruz, what changed from like before you could put a slider in the middle of the office and that is fun and that's create a nice environment? Not saying that it is or it isn't, but that was like a strategy to attract great talent, especially younger talent. What changed 20, 21, 22 years later? How do you attract talent?
It's so difficult, but I agree with Caroli. The environment is the first point that can be attractive, good professional. But we have an important issue here. When Carol and I talking about environment, it's not about furniture, for example. Okay, it's deeper than it. Okay, furniture can be good, but it's about how the company thinking about me, how the company gave me power or empowerment, how the company gave me a collaboration environment. It's possible to think, it's possible to have a good conversations about the product. I will know about the goals of my company or about my product. So the transparency appears here again. In High Flex Group, we have a interesting a process to hire a new professionals. That the first contact, we open our doors and windows to this new professional. We're talking about our challenge, our customers, our problems, and in the first and second contact, we talking about we are thinking about the job of that people, that person, because some companies lie to good professionals, and when this professional starts the job with this company, he or she will discover, oh, the reality is opposite what they told me in the interview. So it's so difficult to keep to maintain the professional in this environment. So thinking about this is not only about furniture, okay, or good walls, good colors, and work without shoots. Not about that. It's about how the company thinking and gave me a free space to work. Okay.
Yeah, environment, and that actually go back to your point, Chris, is the purpose, right? I think people need purpose in their lives, and it's 21st century, right? I mean, working for without a purpose, without getting excited every day to be building something that you're passionate about, just find a new job and find something that you love, because life's too short to actually be spending on things that, right? So I couldn't agree more with both of you. And I would say more, like in my perspective, the environment. Back in the day, maybe yes, having like a colorful walls or painted walls and like free beverage would attract talent. I was from that time when I worked first in New York, and I actually saw like those offices. That was actually attractive. It was pretty cool. Not anymore. I think things changed, and I think for attracting the talent, you have to be building like not only a great product, you have to have like autonomy on the environment. You have to have like a transparency. There's like many things, right? But here is the challenge. I usually love working for smaller companies, startups. Why? Because I like to have impact. For me, I need to work in a company where I have the impact. And I need to feel it. I need to be connected with the users. And that's what I'm passionate about. One of the things. Hiring, I think, requires like company awareness. Because the way that I like to see, let me just briefly describe. There's like really great talent. They are really good at interviewing as well. Those people, they are actually building rockets to the sky, building like amazing product really well, really good jobs. The good ones, the good talent, they have good jobs already. Can we agree on that? That's the way that I like to think, but I'm always open to talk. Then there's the good people that they're, but they are really good interviewers. They know how to master interview. They read the interview book and they nail it. They also have jobs. They're like sitting in the corner in some of like a, maybe not doing something attractive. The kind of people that I love interviewing are like the great talent. They can be themselves, but they are not necessarily good interviewing. They're like a little shy, or they don't know how to express. And I think the interview process, many leaders just want to follow what this bigger corporation established during the past 20 years, where you have to memorize an interview book and pass. So in my perspective, and I want to ask both of you, in the way that I hire great talent, I want to hire people based on who they are versus what they can actually present in an interview. Because you can fake, you can actually just be like for that moment, and the reality is that once we establish that relationship, you're going to be like not as excited. So how do you? I love actually this book here, which is who we use this at Lone Star, my current company, which actually, if you never check that out. It's a book that focus on hiring people based on who they are. Do you agree with that, or like how do you do your interview process? Very briefly, like do you still believe on the interview book for engineers, or like for product design might be like a different book, but how do you do that, and how do you make people to be honest and comfortable during an interview process?
That's such a good question. First, to acknowledge that interviewing, it's hard. It's really hard. And on my perspective, the interviewing process, it does not happen only during the interview. We're constantly talking to people. We are constantly relating to other people. So people are getting to know you. You're getting to know people all the time. You represent your organization. If you are in an organization, in my case, I'm in the same organization. I work for ThoughtWorks since 2006 because I really love that environment. And I do represent that environment. So I'm constantly talking to other people. They like what I say. They like how I behave. Most likely, I am also advertising. Like I'm showing a little bit how people from this organization behave. So the interview is a conversational thing. It's happening all the time. When I'm having a coffee at a conference, when I'm talking to someone else, on the internet, or right now, we're exchanging information here and people are watching. For me, all of this is part of an interview. All the exchange you do is interview.
The more natural, the better, right, Paulo?
Yes. As per, let's say there's a specific moment where, I never met the person. Someone in my company said, hey, can you talk to that person? For me, the interview is not a question and answer. It's a conversational. We're talking, we're chatting. I'm open. Hey, I'm Paulo Caroli. I like writing. I like Inceptions. I like retrospects. What about you? What do you think about this? It's a conversational thing. And try to get to know the person. Don't try to get to know what the person knows. Forget about it. That we can learn on the job. But the attitude, the behavior, how the people treated, like let's say when the people came to the office, did the person talk to the cleaning lady that was cleaning right in front of the person, or the person just went through and said, hey, how are you doing, Caroli, and didn't talk to that person? Like, it's behavior, it's human beings. Those are the things that I'll be pay attention the most. How did the person treat me and treat the other people while the person was walking into an interview? Did the person, like if it is online on Zoom nowadays, did the person start right away into a work conversation, or did the person, say good morning?
Yeah, the way that I like to describe that, Paulo, is fair play. I've been in so many interviews, like in my career, and people would they like, oh, let's surprise the candidate. And let's come up with a question that let's see how dynamic that Alberto can be on the answer. And I said, really? Why you ask me this question? If you want to actually play like the game of like asking tricky question, I can ask you 3 questions as well, and let's see if you want to know the answer. So what I tell, and for the audience here, I would tell like one trick. If you're interviewing and you want to hire like a great talent, do not surprise the candidate, because that is the opposite of creating an environment where people can be honest. Be a fair player. If you're like in that position, would you know the answer? I challenge you. And if you want to ask, we have like the easy, the medium, the harder, and the hardest question. And I will ask you hard questions. And, you want to set your candidates for success. Create an environment where they can be themselves. That's how I like to hire. Cruz, you like surprise candidates with like a random questions that they will never apply on the job, or maybe different?
No. So surprise is not good. But it's interesting because nowadays we mixed these approaches. So we in HighFlex like it so much a conversation to meet the candidate and behaviors and whatever. But we generally started with a test, just understand what is the candidate knows about our challenge. One observation that is important. Um, we don't have in HiFlex technical professionals like developers or engineers. We have professionals that doing management work, like agile coach, scrum master, product owner, project manager, and roles like that. So we need understand a little bit about uh, what is the candidate knows, but just understanding I start of the process. The second step is a conversation. We like to ask to candidate prepare a small presentation about its experience and uh, jobs before this moment, and show this for us. And we not surprised because we we told to them, uh, be prepared to questions, because based on what is prepared, we will uh, uh, make questions about your presentation. But just a conversation with these topics, with these topics. What were your challenges? How you proceed in this or that situation? We have a big difficulty to find people to prepare to work with executives, for example. Okay, C levels, for example. It's so difficult to find this kind of people because talking with technical people is different to talk with executives
Absolutely.
or C level. Yeah. For example, we have a presentation that we expected that person prepared to executive, because in this moment we can see if the mind of this person thinking uh, more close to technical or executive. But we have three steps, and that I will finalize. The third step is we need to put the professionals to work in our customer and follow him or her, because how Caroli said, it is not possible uh, understanding and filter and discover at all about one person in one or two conversations or one or two tests or 10 or 20 questions. We need to work together. So, for example, I am a mentor of some of high flexors, and when a new high flexor start in our company, I mentoring them to follow and understand if it is a good professional for high flex, for a customer, or for both together. Because sometimes we have a great professional, but not for that customer, because the behavior, the environment of that customer is different than that person is more prepared. So I have thinking that we need to thinking about the skills, the knowledgement, but when we can put that person, because we have a different challenges, different customers, different products, different environments to use a good person.
Got it.
So we not forget this.
Good. Great insights, Chris. We are like almost at the time. I know that building a strong team, it's a topic that we could probably be talking for hours and hours and actually not come up with a solution. But I would wrap up with this, and I would like to know if you agree with me or not. But with the pandemic, I think companies open their minds that they can, the way that I like to describe is open the net, hiring people, the best people, regardless where they are. The good advantage, if you're not actually leveraging that yet, is that it's proven that building a diverse team can build better outcomes and better products and products that customers love. So open the net. You don't need to hire an hour, 2 hours from like big centers and like near to a centralized office. So open the net. Another thing that we didn't discuss, and we probably don't have time now, it's not only the candidate that needs to be prepared to actually to do like an interview and be qualified. The interviewers, the team that is interviewing, needs to be prepared. I love preparing my teams.
Yep.
Because many times companies lose the opportunity, miss the opportunity to be hiring great candidates because the people that are interviewing are not prepared. And I will give you like one hint here. I will leave one with you. If you do not have a scorecard, what is a scorecard? It's like clear objectives for the role that can be measured in a quantitative way. What this person will be doing, how this person will be contributing to navigating the boat forward. You have to define those scorecards. And this comes a lot from this, the Who book. I strongly suggest you to take a look if you haven't yet. But having scorecards, getting people prepared in interviews, open the net. And I will just, as Ubi Minds is organizing this event, I would say like it's being a great partner. I've been able to hire like in South America, great talent through Ubi Minds. Like I don't need to be hiring like 30 minutes, an hour from Manhattan anymore. So find people and find partners that can hire people that can align with the North Star, right? So I will leave it there. We are like about time. Any final word, one word that describes this session or like that you would like to give to the audience, Caroli?
Yeah, I would say to the audience that it's not that organizations are interviewing the candidates are interviewing the organizations.
Boom. That's in a hot market, it's like supply demand. Like you have to kind of like to sell the idea that working with you and your team in your organization is a good place, right? I couldn't agree more with you. Cruz, one final thought, what would that be?
Yeah, I think we need to conversation about how is possible to growing together. This is for me a main goal for a good interview. Not about just only company, not about only candidate, but the both of it.
It has to be a relationship and it has to be good for both sides. It's any other relationship, to be honest. Have you ever seen like a successful relationship when it's good only for one of like the sides?
No.
Nah. Same thing works for interviewing and being interviewed.
Yeah. It's a kind of marriage.
It is. I think it is.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Hopefully this conversation was at least engaging, and hopefully we achieved the mission. You remember what that was? Learn one thing, one insight, whatever that is, like an inspiration that you can bring back. Hopefully we are able to achieve that goal. Stay in touch. And Caroli, thank you very much. Fabio, it's always a pleasure seeing you guys. Shayla from UbiMinds, I'm not sure if you're gonna wrap up or we're good.
Yeah. Thank you, Alberto. Thank you,
good.
Cruz. Thank you, Shayla and UbiMind. Always a pleasure being
Thank
here.
you, guys. Love it.
Thank you. It's always good to have a talk with you guys. It's always good to bring more knowledge to the community, to everyone here. If anybody has suggestions on other topics, they're welcome to comment on the video or the social network. If they want to know more about how to build these teams or to join these teams, right? If people want to start working on to have this mindset, feel free to just shoot us an email, mention the comments. I'm sure that Cruz, Alberto, Caroli are more than happy to answer any questions people will have as well. So that's a wrap. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.